We are back live. I'm not sure what happened. I froze up on the last stream, so we are live here now. Hopefully you guys find me. I don't know what the heck happened. All of a sudden, I just froze right up, and that was it. So let's give people a few minutes to find where we are, and I can also change the thumbnail. Potato, let me know if you got that link. I messaged it right before I froze. So I'm not entirely sure if you even got it. But we will get rocking and rolling on these docs in just a few minutes, guys. Hang on, everyone's coming. Thank you, Mary P. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Onesie. Welcome back, BB Mommy. Welcome back, Allison. Hello, CJ. Hi, Gina Marie. This is the hot spot. Let me get my thumbnail changed here. I don't know what the fuck happened. I totally just froze right up. I had to force quit my OBS. You know, the OBS Pro that I am. Yeah, that. All right, thumbnail is changed. Let's see if we've got potato in chat. And make sure that you put it on live chat, you guys, as opposed to top chat. I always forget that. Hello, Skittles. Hello, Heather. Hello, Mandajo. Traffic was bad. You took a wrong turn. Did you have someone hit a fire hydrant or something? Hello, Vegas. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get our screen back. I think Potato broke the internet this morning. Because now it's crickets from that side of the pond. What's going on? And I did share these documents in Discord as well. So if you guys want to follow along or read on your own time, whatever the case may be, they are in, or the link is in Discord. All right. So we're back. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, is Mike having a roly-poly kind of day?
Roly-poly, daddy's little Betty. Betty's gonna be a man someday.
Hit a fire hydrant. Roads are flooded. No report taken. All right, let me open up my messages because I always hate when I leave Potato hanging. Oh, okay. She's got a phone call. So we're gonna break right into this now. Okay, so let's rip the seal. And this is the South Carolina Highway Patrol Multidisciplinary Accident Investigation Team notes. We are talking about Stephen Smith, who we've heard all this talk about Buster and him possibly having a relationship, Buster Murdaugh, or Murdoch, however you want to say it. If you're from the low country says Murdoch and Walmart. But here, I say Murdaugh and Alex. So anyways, this is Stephen Smith, which was a classmate of Buster Murdaugh, and it was rumored that they had a relationship and that the Murdaughs covered up this death. Now, we know for a fact that Randy Murdaugh, who is a partner in the law firm, actually called Stephen Smith's dad. And this was on the day of the accident, and offered up free legal services for a wrongful death suit, which is interesting, right? So we're like, so the Smith family was like, wait, we haven't even identified him yet. We're at the hospital right now. Like, why is Randy Murdaugh calling us? So that was like red flag number one with the Murdaughs. But the Murdaughs could just be ambulance chasers. Yes, BB, mommy, I do. You're just figuring that out. Yes, I do. I've had them for 3 years. But at any rate, it just doesn't make sense. And I don't remember what I was saying now. So I'm going to step away from chat and we're going to focus on these documents because this is important. But at any rate, they blamed Buster, lately since, the whole trial and everything. So Buster's been in the hot seat because they reopened this investigation. Now, his boyfriend, Stephen had a boyfriend. And his boyfriend has a lot of social media posts. I don't know if you guys know about the boyfriend. Now, what's really weird is that in these documents, it states that the boyfriend started getting threatening calls from overseas. So this is weird. So Mary P says the Murdaughs were Stephen's baseball coaches, FYI. Okay, so if the Murdaughs are just ambulance chasing lawyers, that could explain it. But there is a boyfriend and he's twice his age, dude. This is shocking, disturbing shit. All right, so we know that Stephen was 19 years old when he died. And this is the collision report. And, we're just going to scroll through. But you do see... No, I don't think he's a sugar daddy because the dude was like homeless. No. I don't know where they met. We're going to get to that. I got all the screenshots, man. We'll get to that. Okay, so I'm going to step away from chat and we're going to go through these so we can get through them in a sufficient amount of time. AKA, I don't want to be here all day reading. So this is the team members on scene is Booker, Duncan, and Conley. So Booker, Duncan, and Conley responded to this 911 call. And it says here, on July 8th, between the hours of 1 and 4 a.m., an incident took place involving the victim and an unknown subjects. The victim was found in the middle of Sandy Run Road deceased from some sort of blunt force trauma to the head. I responded to the scene. I saw no vehicle debris, skid marks, or injuries consistent with someone being struck by a vehicle. The victim's shoes were loosely tied and were both still on. That's a telltale sign that he wasn't hit by a car. If they were loosely tied and he got struck, number one, I don't think he'd be in the middle of the road. And number two, I don't think his shoes would be on. And he'd have more injuries than just his head. After consulting with Mate, we see no evidence to suggest the victim was struck by a vehicle. The incident is still under investigation with supplemental report to follow. Gina. So this is the diagram of where he was found. Weird place to end up when you are hit by a car, right? So here we have notified by Lieutenant Brock of the incident. I notified Corporal Duncan to contact scene supervisor. Duncan called me to advise he was told it appeared to be a homicide and SLED was taking it over. I was advised there was a possible gunshot wound to the victim's head. Corporal Duncan then discontinued his trip to the scene. I then advised Lieutenant Brock of the updated status of the incident. I was notified by Lieutenant Brock that the victim did not have a gunshot wound according to the autopsy. So at 6 a.m., they thought he was shot in the head. At 18:14, they found out he was not. Contacted Sergeant Burns and Sergeant Moore to gather further information. Contacted Duncan to formulate a plan of action. Flyer was made and disseminated. The next day, 9 a.m., met with Sergeant Moore, Duncan, and Rowell and Brittany Burke from SLED at People's Road Inn Funeral Home to examine the body. Attempted to make contact with 911 caller at his residence. He was not home. Traveled to the scene and documented. Met with Hampton County SO Sheriff's Office to gather any of their information and the victim's phone. Corporal Allen, this is going back to the 8th. So this is Duncan now. That was Booker. And now this is Corporal Duncan. Corporal Allen advised me that we were not needed at the autopsy. This was according to SLED in Hampton County Sheriff's Office. So there, right there, tells me where the corruption lies. Hi, Casey. Work it, girl. Work it. Own it. Met with First Sergeant, or what is that? Moore, Booker, Rowell, and Brittany Burke SLED at the funeral home to examine the body. Photographs were done at this time. Why would they say they weren't needed? Left the funeral home to attempt to interview with Ronnie Capers, 911 caller. They were desperately trying to talk to him to see what he saw, if anything. Traveled to the incident site, traveled to 4220 Joe Miley Road, and met with father, sister, and brothers. I didn't know he had brothers. Notified at 5:18 by Sergeant Booker in reference to an incident in Hampton County on Sandy Run Road. Contacted Corporal Allen, on-scene supervisor, in reference to this incident. States a white male was found on the roadway on Sandy Run Road. The only injuries to the victim were around the head area. Corporal Allen called back and advised me that it appeared to be a homicide and SLED had been called. States it appeared to be a possible gunshot wound to the victim's head. At this point, I contacted Sergeant Booker and advised him of the circumstance. According to the family, Stephen would never have been walking in the middle of the roadway. States he was very skittish. Clothes and iPhone sent to SLED. Now, you're going to hear in a minute that they couldn't retrieve his data from his phone. Audio interview conducted with 911 caller Ronnie Capers. Mr. Capers states he never stopped. He saw someone lying in the road, states he thought it was an animal at first, but when he got closer, he saw it was a white guy laying in the road. On 7/14, traveled to Hampton County Sheriff's Office, impound lot to photograph Stephen's car. Now, this is important. Gas cap was unscrewed and hanging outside of the gas cap door. So the story is that his car ran out of gas and he was walking and he got hit by a car. First of all, why are you going to open your gas thing unless you have a gas can or someone has stopped with a gas can or told you they had a gas can, like, hey, and you open it? Or it was staged to look like that. Hello, Lucy Sable. Welcome. Glad to have you. So we don't know if it was empty. It states in here that it wouldn't start, but the battery was good. The key was in his pocket. It was in Stephen's pocket. All right. So contact. This is on the 14th. Okay, this is on July 14th as well. Contacted Mark Burkhart by phone. Mr. Burkhart was in a relationship with Stephen Smith. Now let me show you. I'm like, who's Mark Burkhart? This is Mark Burkhart. Right here. This was Stephen's boyfriend. And we'll read a little bit more about that. Let's keep going. Traveled to Mr. Burkhart's residence and conducted an audio interview. States him and Stephen were in a relationship. States he had talked with Stephen by phone and text on the morning of the incident. States he believed foul play was involved. After leaving Mr. Burkhart's residence, he called me at approximately 2:12. States he is not sure about the timelines and just rambled in conversation. Contacted Corporal Rowell about asking the family for Stephen's iPad and laptop. Mr. Burkhart called again. This is on the same day. at 16:37 hours and left a message. Next day, Mr. Burkhart called 3 times. 12:34 and 12:35. Actually, twice at 12:34 and 12:35, left a voice message. Mr. Burkhart called twice while I was in a meeting. Call times are 10:49 and 10:51. Subject left voice message. Sup, Melissa B. Traveled to Troop 7 headquarters and met with Lieutenant Taylor and Moore. Briefed them on the incident. Moore transferred the iPad and computer to me. Gina, leave Streamlabs alone. That's my advertising. Please. Contacted Rowell to make arrangements to interview Stephen's twin sister, Stephanie Smith. Now we're on the 17th. Traveled to Hampton County and interviewed Stephanie Smith at the DMV office. States Stephen became very secretive about 2 weeks prior to the incident. So his sister is saying his twin. She did not know anyone who had a problem with Stephen. States Stephen had a class at Orangeberry Tech on the 7th of July. Also says she didn't talk about his boyfriend a lot. Returned computer. iPad taken to Charleston South SO by Corporal Proctor. Spoke with and interviewed Stephen's mother. Mother confirmed that Stephen had become more secretive lately. Mother also said that Stephen had a friend at something. What does that say? I had a friend at something, but they had a disagreement a while back. Possible named James, but they became friends. Thought it was strange Stephen was not studying like he used to. Welcome, Flo, to the fam over here. And was playing hooky from school. Spoke with Corporal Rowell about tracking down James at Bilo. I think it's Bilo. And checking on video from store at seeing Mark Burkhart earlier that morning around the incident site.
What?
Thank you for your support, Flo. Spoke with Rowell about James and video. No video, and James states him and Stephen had a relationship for a while, but has not seen him in a while. Contacted Lieutenant Johnson at SLED. Still no luck unlocking the phone. Spoke with Stephen's mother. No new information. Reviewing iPad download. Media 7/5/15 at 2:44 Eastern Standard Time. 11:50 to 1 o'clock. Do not come. ... And then this is in Spanish. I can't read Spanish. Hey, Feminem. I don't know what that says. Something about a house. I don't know. Can you guys read that? Tuesday, 3:30, it says 1955, and this is information from the iPad. Contacted Lieutenant Johnson with SLED. Made arrangements to pick up the iPhone on Tuesday. Contacted Sandy Smith in reference to assisting with unlocking the phone. Sandy states she was the secondary fingerprint for the phone. States she can meet with me on Tuesday in Orangeburg. Now remember. Stephen's phone went to SLED. Now they're wanting the phone back, right? Now check this out. Picked up the iPhone from SLED. No chain of custody with the phone. So no one knows who fucking had it. And they met with Sandy Smith and Stephanie, and they were unable to unlock it. So who thinks that someone fucked with the phone? See, that's what makes me go back to the Murdaugh theory. That's what makes me go back to the Murdaugh, good old boy in the system theory. Because why wouldn't they be able to unlock it? No chain of custody, and then they can't unlock it. Makes no sense. Contacted Rachel Tootin, Stephen's best friend. States last time she spoke was by text around 7 to 8 p.m. on 7/7/15. No other information. Conley met with me around 8:30 to transfer the iPad to me. Returned iPad to Stephanie Smith. Okay, so a month later, Stephanie contacted me by phone. States had some information she needed to give me. I asked Stephanie if she would email me the information we talked about. I received an email with the information. Same day, Sandy Smith called. States she went back out to the scene and found a footprint 200 feet down from where Stephen was found. States the impression was in an ant mound. Also says another print was not visible because of rain. This poor mother is out there a month after her son was hit, trying to find answers, clues. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Contacted Angela Carroll in reference to Stephen Smith's death. Information from Stephanie. States a boy named Brendan asked if Stephen and Buster Murdaugh ever had any type of relationship. Attempted to call Brendan. No answer. Left message. The father of Brendan Strother called me, wanted to know what was going on, stated he would have his son call me later. So this dad was like, what the frick is going on? Why you calling my son? Briefed Sergeant Moore in reference to Brendan, and Brendan contacted me at 10:35. States the text he sent Angela was just what he heard from others, just rumors. Attempted to contact Mark Burkhart by phone, went straight to voicemail. Left Mr. Burkhart a message, time 10:54 hours. Attempted to contact Mark Burkhart. See, Mark Burkhart was blowing up his phone before. What happened, Mr. Burkhart? What is it? Frankly, I want to go home. This color is killing me. Weird. So he was blowing up their phone before, and now they're trying to call him, and he's not answering. He's not calling them back. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. His pants were not. No, ma'am. He was clothed in jeans. Attempted to call Mark Burkhart, goes straight to voicemail, left another message. So this is 8:17, 8:17, 8:18, and then 8:26. Attempted to call Mark Burkhart, left a message, goes straight to voicemail. So we've got 4. And yes, thank you, Mary P, for that. We got 4 attempts in the month of August to call Mark Burkhart, and he doesn't answer. 8:26, spoke with Sandy Smith. Gave me a phone to a person that may know some information. Only knows first name Cecil. Attempted to contact Cecil. No answer. 8:26, attempted to contact Nora Williams. Sandy Smith states she may have some information on Stephen's death. Rings 4 times, left no voicemail. There's no voicemail. 8:26, spoke with Stephanie Smith about Nora and Dale Stanley. States Dale says there was a green Jeep that was following Stephen on or the day before he died. Now we have a green Jeep. Who drives a green Jeep, yo? Sandy Smith called me at 12:23, wanted to know if any of the interviews have led to any new information. Sandy Smith called and said she had heard on the radio that an arrest had been or will be made in reference to her son's death. Proctor contacted the radio station in reference, asked him to find out if this was true and maybe who called saying it. Received an email in reference to an anonymous tip on 12/7. States Dontario Aiken, along with another black male and a white male, Murdaugh, are the ones involved in death. This tip is referring to Stephen Smith. So this is in December now. You guys, chill. We're going to get to the bar. We're not even to the body yet. We're not even there. Okay, we'll get there. All of that's in here. It's 112 pages. We're on page 24. Contact Rowell and briefed him on the information. Also sent an email. Moore, Burns, and Booker about what I wanted Rowell to do. Sent Proctor this information and advised him about the situation. I went down to MUSC on this date to meet with Dr. Erin Presnell. She is the pathologist that performed the autopsy on the victim in this case. The reason I went and spoke with her was due to a preliminary report where she stated the victim was possibly struck by a motor vehicle mirror, which was the cause of death. Moore had already had, from my understanding, a heated conversation with her about this issue. The MATE team has always had a good working relationship with MUSC, so I wanted to see if I could go down there and get some sort of clarification. As soon as Dr. Presnell came in the room, she began a negative tone, stating that I did not have a meeting scheduled and she was very busy. She stated that I could not even begin speaking about this case with her without the coroner's consent. I advised her that I had spoken with Coroner Washington the day before, and she basically called me a liar. What?
Because you're a liar.
And said she would call him right then. When I asked if she wanted me to call from my cell phone, she backed off. I asked her why she stated that in the report, and her answer was, quote, because he was found in the road. She had no evidence other than that for the statement being put in the report. She asked why we did not think it was a vehicle strike, and I explained to her that we had no evidence of this individual being struck by a vehicle. I asked her if someone with a baseball bat could do that, and she said no. When I probed further about someone in a moving car with a bat, she stated, well, I guess it's possible. She then asked if we found a bat as evidence. I could see this conversation was not going to yield any positive results. As I was leaving, she stated that the report was preliminary and it was my job to figure out what struck him, not hers. I spoke with Coroner Washington today in reference to the final autopsy report issued from MUSC. He faxed me a copy of the report and told me that he does not agree with the pathologist, stating that the victim was hit by a motor vehicle. We discussed the fact that the report states that the cause of death is blunt head trauma. Motor vehicle crash, pedestrian versus vehicle. Then the manner of death was undetermined. I would think that the blunt force trauma would be the cause of death, and the motor vehicle crash would be the manner that was delivered to cause the death. The pathologist also states in the report that in light of historical information along with the autopsy, these conclusions were made. To what historical information she possessed, I am unaware. I attempted to speak with Dr. Presnell at an earlier date to go over information that had been discovered throughout the investigation, and that was ill received. Good morning, beautiful Cheryl. The coroner did tell me that the deputy coroner had gone down to MUSC the morning of the autopsy and spoke with the pathologist. She has since been fired from his office. Oh, what? Whoa. I spoke with the deputy coroner Green and Agent Burke with SLED, as both of them were present at the autopsy. Both stated they made no reference to the pathologist about the victim being struck by a vehicle, only that he was found in the road. The coroner stated that he had made contact with the pathologist, Dr. Presnell, and she stated she'd be willing to change her report to however he wanted it. Wow.
What?
I received a message to call SLED agent Michael Moskal in reference to discussing trace evidence located on the deceased clothes in this case. During our conversation, Mr. Moskal advised he located around 10 1mm single layer blue paint chips. Mr. Moskal advised he needed more paint layer evidence to pinpoint a particular vehicle. Mr. Moskal advised that the PDQ database indicated the paint could be from an industrial tool, dumpster, or signpost. Mr. Moskal added that Toyota used this particular paint on its vehicles from 82 to 88. So it could be from a multiple of things. I received information from Duncan about an individual named Daryl Williams. He is stating that his stepson, Patrick Wilson, told him Sean Conley struck and killed Stephen Smith. Sean Conley. Never heard this name. Mr. Williams stated that his son told him this in confidence and that his son had moved out and he did not know where he was staying. He could only tell me that Patrick attended some Christian school in Ridgeland. I drove down to Ridgeland and went to Step of Faith School. Patrick Wilson was not a student there. I then found Legacy Utah Baptist Church School. Patrick is a student, but was not there that day. I then drove to Hampton, attempting to locate an address for Patrick. I could not get his stepfather to return my calls. Mr. Williams stated that the reason he was passing this information on was because Randy Murdaugh told him to call.
What?
Guys, what? Oh, God, this is a lot. Corporal Hoffman and I went to blank in an attempt to interview Dontario Aiken. Now, Dontario was the one that this anonymous tip came in and said it was him, another black man, and Murdaugh, but it didn't say which Murdaugh. This is a Hyundai Genesis parked in the front yard. Within minutes of being at the subject's house, his family began arriving. We had no answer at the residence, and I made contact with the subject over telephone. Mr. Aiken advised he was working with a logging company, Brunson Forest Products, and we met him on SC3 at the railroad tracks in the town of Beldock. Mr. Aiken advised he did not have any knowledge of who killed the victim. Mr. Aiken advised he learned of the death through Facebook. Mr. Aiken advised... Wait, hold on. Mr. Aiken advised he did not have any knowledge of who killed the victim. Mr. Aiken advised he learned of the death through Facebook. He advised he was working with BLT Logging as part of a swamp crew cutting a tract of woods during the week the victim was murdered. Mr. Aiken advised his logging company, BLT Logging, gave all employees their own private room in a hotel on US 17 in West Ashley between a Waffle House and a Speedway and was rented by TJ Pennington. He added that he came home on weekends and stayed in the hotel all week. Mr. Aiken remembered that he worked changing trailer tires in a still with Deontay Williams on the Saturday he was home, and the week afterwards went straight home. Mr. Aiken advised he knew the victim from Wade Hampton High School. Oh, Lord. Mr. Aiken said he played football and advised the victim was a trainer with a football team. Stephen was a trainer? I asked Mr. Aiken, I asked Mr. Aiken why someone would kill the victim. Mr. Aiken replied that he had no idea. I asked Mr. Aiken if he ever goes out partying in the country, and he said it's been a long time since he's done that. I've read this before. I asked Mr. Aiken if he was friends with anyone with the last name Murdaugh. He said he went to school with a girl with the last name Murdaugh. I asked him if he knew any boy with the last name Murdaugh, and he said that he graduated with the... He said he knew one that graduated with the victim. Wait, what? I asked him if he knew any boy with the last name Murdaugh, and he said he knew one that graduated with the victim. Mr. Aiken said he was not friends with any Murdaugh subject on Facebook, but later wanted to look on his phone to see. There was no cell signal to check. I later looked on Facebook and saw the subject is friends on Facebook with Buster Murdaugh. Oh, shit.
What?
Mr. Aiken stated he never hung out with him or went to any parties hosted by any Murdaugh subjects. I asked Mr. Aiken what rumors he had heard around town about the victim's death, and he advised he only heard he was hit by a car. Mr. Aiken portrayed himself as a hard worker who, when not working, sleeps and visits his girlfriend. At the end of the interview, I turned off my audio recorder. A follow-up question was asked, and I pushed the record button on the audio recorder. The second recording was edited in at the end of my original interview. Wow. So here is Steven's driver's record. absolutely nothing to be seen here. I mean, kid was squeaky clean, man. So this is them getting the Verizon wireless records. The target phone being identified as having the number of blank and is further known as target phone. Any and all incoming and outgoing historical call data. They wanted everything. The owner of the cell phone was fatally wounded in an incident on or around July 8th, 2015 on Sandy Run Road in Hampton, South Carolina. The use of the phone before the incident are pertinent to the ongoing investigation. The individual was found deceased in the middle of the roadway with severe head trauma. The investigation has led to this individual not being struck by a vehicle and possible foul play. The information on the phone would help determine who the victim had contact with prior to the events that led to his death. And then this is, I believe, the 911 information. And then this is the flyer they put out with Crime Stoppers. And they did make it, call it a fatal hit and run. And then they changed it. Look, fatal hit and run. Then they were like, F this. It's a fatal incident. And then this is his schedule. This would be his classes that he was taking. This is so sad, you guys. So sad. Okay, so this is, that's as far as I got. I haven't read any of this. One black Nike short sleeve shirt was analyzed. No automotive paint found. Khaki Union Bay cargo shorts. Item 3 was analyzed using physical characteristics. No automotive paint found. Cutting taken from item 3. And it was analyzed using Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy with microscope attachment. Wow. No automotive paint found. And one pair of Airspeed footwear shoes. No paint found. And then debris collected from items 2 through 4. Several single-layer metallic blue paint chips were found. Due to the condition of the sample, no make, model, and year was able to be obtained. These paint chips are suitable for comparison should a standard become available. Can you imagine how frustrated his mom was seeing this? My heart goes out to that woman. Okay, so this is the crime scene investigation summary from SLED. On July 8th, 2015, at approximately 6:12, SLED crime scene was requested by Chief Billy Gerald with the Hampton County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to take this boyfriend off the screen here. Hold on. Let's get rid of him. Let me show you another screenshot. He's kind of a sicko a little bit. Like, this is one of his Facebook posts, right? Yeah. And he moved up there for Steven. All right, I'll leave that up. You can read that. Oh shit. I just heard a pop. I think that means we've got potato. Hold up. Do we have the potato?
Hello.
Oh,
I'm
hello. It's nice to hear your voice.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, phone calls come in, man.
I know,
right.
just at the right time.
Right. It always happens that way, doesn't it?
What is that thing on your screen?
What thing?
To the left side of your screen. Did you not see it?
Left side of my screen? Oh, it was the penis thing?
My penis is my favorite toy.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I was Oh, I'm sorry. I was explaining that before you called in.
I was like,
That's
what is
not a
going
message.
on here?
That's not a message from me, I promise. That is. So what that was actually a post of Steven's boyfriend on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, it
Ew.
was gross. That's why I like removed it as quick as I put it up there. I was like, ew.
Yeah, that's not right.
Everybody is saying hello
No,
to you in
thank you.
chat.
Hi, everyone in chat.
Prepper says, speaking of automotive paint, my wife just made breakfast. Does her breakfast taste like automotive paint?
Oh, geez.
Oh, Lord, Prepper. What are we going to do with you? I think Prepper and CEO were like separated at birth.
Separated at birth. Mhm.
All right. So you haven't been listening up until now. You're probably going to have to catch up later. But
Mhm.
we're on the sled portion. But we've had a lot of people brought in. We've got this character who played football at the same high school as Steven and Buster. He's been, there was a anonymous tip. So he's been implemented. He was questioned and said, I don't know anything about it. They said, do you know any or do you know anybody with the name Murdaugh? And he said, oh, I know a girl. And they were like, how about, he says, oh, I know the victim knew a Murdaugh. And then they said, are you friends on Facebook? And he said, I don't think so. Let me check. And then he didn't have a signal. So they went back and then they went on Facebook and checked, and he was friends with Buster.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, like, why lie about being Facebook friends with Buster unless you did something
you kind
wrong?
of know. You'd know if you were friends with someone on Facebook.
Right.
I mean,
And then-
you have to add people, so.
Yeah. So clearly lying, and for what reason, I don't know. But then you kind of see like the investigators who were on the scene, like the traffic investigators, were like, this dude was not hit by a car. They were adamant about it. And then I just read a statement from one of the investigators. He had like a heated conversation with the coroner lady, and she was fired. She ended up being fired. She said, I'll make the report say whatever you want it to say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she got shit canned, but she was the one that was all sassy with him. He was like, why did you determine that he got hit by a car? And she's like, how did you determine he didn't? Because she goes, he was in the roadway. Like,
And that's the only reason.
she was on someone's payroll. It sounds like, I don't know, man. There's something wrong with that one.
Yep.
But
There's nothing to say that he was hit by a vehicle. No parts of a vehicle anywhere, no glass, nothing.
And he was like, how did you get to this conclusion? And she's
Just
like, because
he was
in
on the road.
And he was like, that's the only thing that she came up with. She was fired, beat mommy, she gone. But she needs to be prosecuted because,
Yeah.
you know, she had a hand in putting this mother through literal hell for the past, how many years?
8.
Since 2015?
Yeah.
There should be a price to pay for that. That's messed up.
And also shutting down any kind of investigation into a homicide.
Right. I mean, everybody that lied should face charges. Like the guy that played football, him. I mean, even if he's not involved, you lie and you impede an investigation, I think you should face charges.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, we were just going over the sled incident to see what they say. So, this is how they describe what happened. And I'll tell you who was on scene. Brittany Burke and James Talon. Do the chickens have large talons? And then Chief Gerald Investigator Perry Singleton and other personnel from HCSO. Coroner Ernie Washington and Deputy Coroner Kelly Green were also on scene from Hampton County Coroner's Office. Chief Gerald provided the following information: that the victim was located deceased in the middle of the roadway. Originally, HCSO had notified South Carolina Highway Patrol into this being a possible hit and run. And after further investigation, it was believed that the victim had been shot in the head. So this is all the initial scene discovery. During this crime scene investigation, photographs were taken by SLED. A copy of the crime scene photographs were mailed to Perry Singleton and Coroner Ernie Washington. So then this is where you have the rape kit, I guess. And there's no like documentation saying why they did that. They don't include that in here. But it does say that it was done. And why would that have been done unless they initially thought that it could have been like a, you know, a domestic, like a lover's thing or.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe they were just trying to cover all bases, like in case he had been murdered and just dumped there. Like
Yeah.
if he'd been killed somewhere else and dumped there.
I mean, if they were thinking he got shot in the head, it would make sense that they're going to cover all those bases to see if there was, you know, some kind of, you know, sexual assault or something like that on him. Because, I mean, you got to think about it, too. In the Low Country, they don't really like gay people too much.
Right.
You know? So they could have thought maybe he was, you know, tormented or hazed. Because in the Low Country, they're a little bit, you know, backwoods. I just do that too well. That's a little scary. Maybe I was born in the Low Country. Okay, so then here is where he was found, out in the middle of frickin' nowhere. You can see that's like, I know you can't see it, but on YouTube you can. His car was 3 miles away, which makes zero sense that kid walked 3 miles. And then this is the position of him in the roadway. This is the drawing they did. I know it's sideways, but there we go. And there's a light pole right there. So there's woods on one side.
His phone records and stuff to see if he phoned anyone whilst he was stopped there.
You know, it looks like they did request them from Verizon. I'm assuming they got them, but I haven't seen that yet. It might be down further. We just went through the warrant, so. Now this here is, do you want me to share on our screen here so you can see it?
I can see it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Is that better? Is that good enough? Because I can share it in the other screen too if you want.
Either, whichever.
Well, then you don't have that lag. Let me share it. Okay, you should be able to see now what I'm doing.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so it says here, this is the crime scene number, this is evidence, 1 DVD containing crime scene photographs. So at least they have all this evidence, though. That's a good thing. Okay, so here is this is James Talon III from SLED. On July 8th, 2015, at approximately 6:12, SLED was requested by Chief Billy Jarrell of the Hampton County Sheriff's Office. This basically says the same thing as the other guy that was notified as well. Possible hit and run, and then they said he had been shot in the head. The lead investigator from the Sheriff's Department is Perry Singleton. The victim's vehicle was a 2013 yellow Chevy Aveo. Upon arrival at 8:25, it was cloudy, an approximate temperature of 77 degrees. Chief Jarrell, an investigator Singleton, and several other personnel were on scene. Oh, wow, they moved him. Okay. So agents arrived and met with Chief Jarrell, who provided the following additional information. EMS and SCHP arrived on scene. They placed orange paint on the roadway. An EMS worker stated that a projectile wound was located on the victim's head. SLED crime scene was then requested and SCHP departed the scene. The HCCO moved the victim prior to SLED crime scene's arrival. The scene was documented with digital photography by Burke and Talon. Upon entering the scene, agents observed that the scene was, make that bigger. The scene was secured by HCSO and had yellow barrier tape. The victim was covered with a sheet. After photographing the area, the sheet was removed. Injuries were noted on the victim's left arm, left hand, and head. That would be probably where he fell, right? Like, if he got hit and he fell down, that might be what was on his left arm and hand. A
Well, they said
hole.
his shoulder was dislocated as well.
Ooh, really?
I didn't know that there were injuries to his hand, though.
Left arm, left hand, and head. A hole in the skull was located above the victim's right eye. So, dude, if he was... So how the hell could that lady have justified a mirror hitting him above his right eye? What are they saying? That he turned to look at the car and the freaking mirror hit him above the right eye?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-mm.
And it would have to be a truck or something as well for that kind of height.
Yep. Wow.
And plus, if a wing mirror had hit him in the head, then there would have been glass or something from the wing mirror. Like, there would have been damage.
For sure. There would have been pieces of that mirror everywhere. It is still unclear at this time if the hole was caused by a projectile. The victim's right arm was covered in blood, and agents were unable to see any injuries. Agents searched the area for cartridge cases. The search yielded negative results. The victim's hands were bagged. The coroner searched through the victim's clothing. The coroner located a vehicle key in the left pocket. This key was turned over to county personnel. No other evidence was located at the scene.
So his phone wasn't there. I thought his phone was in his pocket.
So did I. Prior to leaving the scene, agents discussed their findings, Okay, so then they responded to the vehicle 3 miles away at 9:20. After receiving a search warrant, agents searched the area and the vehicle. Foot impressions were observed. Now listen to this. This is rich. Footwear impressions were observed in the dirt near the driver's door. The responding officer's shoes were compared to these impressions by Burke and found to be consistent. Therefore, footwear impressions were not collected.
What?
Oh, we figured they were his, so we just didn't do it. I have a feeling some heads are going to be rolling soon. This is bad. The vehicle was parked off the roadway. The gas tank door was open and the gas cap was hanging on the side of the vehicle. And the vehicle doors were locked. Why would he open the gas can thing or gas cap and have the doors locked? Was he hoping somebody would come by and just like put gas in it for him?
Yeah. Yeah, you'd only open it if you were ready to put some in.
Yeah. Someone said earlier maybe he was doing it to alert other drivers, but I don't think there was any other driver. Like, it was in the middle of nowhere, like country.
And would you even notice whilst driving past?
And where was he going? Nobody knows? That's never been said. Okay. Okay, so then they got in the car.
What time was it meant to have happened?
It was, God, like 5 in the morning. Like, well, that guy called 911 at like 6 in the morning on his way to work. I don't know what time.
So they don't know what kind of time it actually
happened. I don't know if that's ever been said. It might be in here somewhere down the line, but it says that they got in the car. They used the key to open the vehicle, and the vehicle was in park. The battery was functional, but the car wouldn't start. So they don't say if it was because it was out of gas. The vehicle was searched, and the only item was his wallet that was found. No other items were taken from the vehicle.
So his phone wasn't in the vehicle either.
Yeah, where's his phone?
It's got to have been somewhere because they had it.
Yeah, Sled had it.
Yeah.
It was determined that the wound in the victim's head was not caused by a fired projectile. The pathologist stated it appeared the victim was struck by a vehicle. Talon then contacted investigator Singleton and advised him that the SCHP would need to be contacted to investigate this incident further. So they transferred everything to the Sled Forensic Services Laboratory. So then Burke responded to Mulberry Street in Hampton in reference with meeting Sergeant Moore. Sergeant Moore provided documentation from the original crime scene and transferred the evidence. Yikes. Look at, here it is. Cellular phone.
So where did they find it?
Why is the brown wallet like crossed out?
I'm guessing they weren't found in the same location. So was it in his pocket?
Maybe. I think
Because
it's all
that's what they
fucked
were
up
saying.
because there were so many
That's what they were.
people there.
And they were saying that it didn't seem like he'd been hit by a vehicle because his phone was still in his pocket
Yeah,
and
that
it
would have
wasn't
been
damaged or anything.
right.
It would have flown out.
It would have flown out. And his shoes,
You
when
could
you
get-
see the picture, his shoes were like skate shoes. You know, like how they're like wide and they have like that thick like tongue, and they were loosely tied so that you could just like slip your foot in them. If he got hit by a car, those would not have been on his feet. No way.
Nope. Because if you get hit by a car, then you're gonna roll. Like you're not just gonna land on the road on your back.
Mm-mm.
There's gonna be other injuries from the road surface as well.
And depending
Especially
on
if he's wearing shorts.
and depending on speed, I mean, there might not be tire tracks because if someone doesn't brake, there's not going to be. But you would depending on the speed, you would be thrown like in the air, like you would. And I hate that visual, but that's what happens. The force is so great, and I just don't believe that blue is from a car.
Well, they were saying that it was paint, but it could have been from a baseball bat or something.
They did mention that in these documents too.
Yeah.
Specifically a bat. So here's the statement, voluntary statement from Ronnie Capers, the guy that called, and he says, while going to work on Sandy Run Road about 4:00 in the morning. Okay, so it was 4:00 in the morning. I noticed white male laying down in the highway. I call 911. So that's that statement. And then here's the 911 from the accident scene with the call. All of that stuff. But now we're going to get down to some weirdness. Are you ready for that? You called in for the weirdness. I came here for the weirdness. Ooh-wee.
That'll scare someone.
Ooh-wee. That will scare somebody. Far out.
I flashed and said, wow, pretty far out. I thought it was pretty far out.
All right. So that's all dispatch stuff. Okay. So what is this? Who went? Greg Cook, Brown, Logan Still, Demetrius Gilliard. Hampton Fire Department. That's all. 911 recording. There's 38 recordings. Why is there 38 recordings?
That's a lot.
Oh, all of the dispatch audio.
Oh.
Okay, so here's an incident report. Hampton Police Department took this from Mark Burkhart. Is it Bickhart or Burkhart? Who is 5'8". He's short. He was getting obscene and harassing calls. This is Steven's alleged boyfriend. He says on 7/13 that Officer Long was dispatched to Mark's address. Upon arrival, he made contact with the listed victim in the yard. The victim informed officers he had been receiving phone calls from the Cayman Islands. The people that were calling his phone was threatening his life and stated that he was going to die like his friend. What? God almighty.
God almighty.
The victim then stated that the calls began last week after his friend's funeral. I have passed the victim's information onto the sheriff's office. Yikes.
So that was July, and he stopped taking calls from law enforcement in August. So maybe that's why he wasn't wanting to talk to them anymore, because he was being threatened.
And there's more. Detailed statement of investigation. On the listed report, the friend that the victim references to is the Stephen Smith. At this time, Captain Russell has been informed that the victim wishes to provide information in reference to the incident. The number that has been calling the victim is blank. The calls informed the victims that he would die on the same day Smith did. And the victim believes that his death was a homicide. The victim has also been followed by Smith's mother around town, and she has informed people that the victim is responsible for her son's death. Major Bolton was notified about the incident and will turn over the victim's information to the Hampton County Sheriff's Office. Thoughts? His mom.
Well, it makes me wonder if someone had been talking to his mom and trying to imply that he was the reason.
Trying to focus her attention on him.
Because Randy Murdo had said that when he was offering his services and stuff, he'd pointed things at someone else as well. So they weren't just offering services, they were trying to like imply that it was someone else who had murdered him.
So they were setting this whole thing up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me.
And that would explain why he wouldn't call back. Because if I had these people calling me from the Cayman Islands saying I was going to die like he did, I wouldn't talk either. I'd be scared.
And calling from the Cayman Islands as well, that's someone trying to cover their tracks.
And someone with money, right?
Yeah.
Yikes. So here's the actual rape kit thing. It actually says rape kit. But I don't think it has the results. It's so fucking sad, man. So all they got was the kit, the shorts, the shirt, and his shoes. And then Jennifer signed this. Jennifer Aycock was the forensic technician. This is the original report again. What's this? Okay, we haven't read this part yet. Detective Singleton received a call at home from Sergeant Smith with the sheriff's office requesting his assistance. He responded, and upon his arrival, he was met by Corporal Bridges, who informed him that around 4 a.m., they got a 911 call to a person laying in the highway. Once there, Bridges realized the person was deceased and mentioned that one Ronnie Capers Jr. reported this to 911. Detective Singleton, went up to take a look at the body and noticed a slender-build white male on the highway with khaki shorts and a white polo shirt. Sled crime scene was called to process the scene. The deceased had on his person one cellular phone and a car key. There you go. Highway patrol later located the deceased person's vehicle. The vehicle was in a Chevy Aveo. A wallet was found with a picture ID of the deceased male in the wallet. Not to scale. Oh, this is the drawing that they did. Oh, God, this is a lot. Okay, so this is... Who wrote this? Oh, this is from the same guy, this detective. Okay, so Corporal Allen called me back to advise the mate team was en route. He left his residence and headed to the scene. I'm just going to kind of break this down because it's a lot. He got there at 6:25 and observed a white male in the roadway on the center line with head trauma to the right side of his brow. I spoke with Hampton County Coroner Ernie Washington, who immediately advised me it was a homicide. He pointed out the wound to be a gunshot wound and showed me the entry point. Assistant Coroner Kelly Green then began to show me photographs they took, again, pointing to the entry point and a defensive wound to the hand. Potato.
A defensive wound?
Oh, yikes.
I mean, that would tell me that he was being attacked.
Yeah. So it makes sense why they did the kit, because it could have been like a domestic. Poor Steven. All right. So then they said, I asked for clarity if they were sure it was a homicide, and their response was yes. I then advised we no longer needed the mate team. I asked if our assistance was needed, and I was told no. They were just waiting on sled. I walked the scene and saw no evidence of any car parts or pieces, and then had all units clear the scene. At approximately 16:15, I was called by Rowell, who advised Sheriff T.C. Smalls called him and advised an autopsy was conducted and that no bullet was found, and it was determined to be a hit and run. You know, T.C. Smalls retired too. I've seen an interview with him on this when they were talking Murdaugh murders. He was old. He's been there for a long time. I immediately called Sheriff Smalls blank to clarify the issue. He advised me that the doctor was ruling it a motor vehicle accident and they were turning it over to us. I asked if he was the lead investigator, and he advised me Perry Singleton was and gave me his phone number.
It's even worse that she ruled it a hit and run when he had defensive wounds on his hand. Like, how can she get to that point?
I don't know. There was a good old boy system going on in here, I think.
Definitely sounds like it.
And it was torn apart. I hope they all face charges. This is sickening.
Mm-hmm.
So listen to this. He calls Singleton and asks for any notes, and he said he was not at his desk and would call me back in 30 minutes. And then he called Ernie Washington and asked him if that was his ruling. And Washington stated he would have to go with the doctor's ruling. I then reminded him earlier that they said they were certain it was a gunshot. And he told me he had to go by the opinion of the doctor. Wow.
Gosh.
Wow. And this guy's like, dude, you said you were certain, like, without a doubt. I asked him where the body was at, and he stated he had taken it to Rodin Funeral Home, so that's why they went there. See, they were told, we don't need you at the autopsy. You don't need to be here. Wow. Okay, so check this out. I asked him what time and who, and they notified the mother and father, Joel and Sandra, at their home, and that they requested he be taken to this funeral home. I called the funeral home and spoke with Gordon Rodin, blank. I asked him if he had the clothing the deceased was wearing so we could pick it up, and he stated it was in a paper bag with the body. What? In a paper bag with the body. I asked him to immediately stop whatever preparations they were making to the body and cover him up, and we would come get the clothing. Holy hell. I wonder who paid for the funeral. Wonder if that was Murdaugh at all. Yeah. He agreed to do so, and Rowell picked up the clothing. And then he called Lieutenant King and advised him what was occurring, and he told me to make some phone calls and get back to me. I immediately called back Ernie Washington and asked for the name and phone number of the doctor who conducted the autopsy. I was given her number and called a Dr. Aaron with AA Presnell, and it's a girl, to try and understand what brought her to that decision. She said it was not a gunshot wound and no bullet or fragments were found during the x-ray, and that it didn't look like a bullet wound in her opinion. And since he was found in the roadway, she could only theorize that it had to be a motor vehicle that caused the death. I asked if he had any other injuries, and she stated a partial dislocated right shoulder. I asked her if she found any glass fragments or any other evidence of a motor vehicle, and she said no. I then asked why she was ruling it as a motor vehicle accident and what she thought caused the head injury. She told me it was not her job to figure it out. It was mine. I then tried calling Lieutenant Singleton back since she had not returned my phone call, and all I got was his voicemail, or since he had not returned my phone call. I then hung up and called Sheriff Smalls, so we're back to Smalls, to see if he could get me the information they had, and he stated he'd call me right back. After not hearing back from him as well, I called him back and got his voicemail. Wow. I then called Corporal Rowell to see if he was in Hampton, and he advised he was on his way back from Bamberg. I told him to go by the scene and make sure the body had been marked and to start looking for any vehicle debris. He called back and said he could find no debris at all. I then called Altman and told him when he came back to the scene to look for any vehicle debris. He called back stating he could find nothing. I then told him to go out to the scene and sit from 3 to 5 to document what kind of traffic was moving that time of the morning. King said he called me back at 1928 hours and advised Brock with the mate team would be calling me to see if I could get in touch with someone from SLED. I spoke with Brock and explained the entire scenario. He advised me to have someone go to the scene and look for debris. I told him I already had someone on the scene, and he said he'd have Booker call me shortly. I spoke with Booker and he explained the scenario. We decided to meet at the funeral home in Hampton and asked if SLED could meet us there as well. I told him I would find out which agents were there and try to set it up. I called Agent Jeff Croft with SLED, whom I knew, to see if he could find out which agents came to the scene that morning. He called me back with the name and phone number of Brittany Burke. Called her at 20:22 hours, and she stated she and Trey Talon were called out at 6:10 at the request of the Hampton County Sheriff's Office regarding a homicide. She stated they arrived around 9 o'clock and looked at the wound and didn't think it was a gunshot wound. She stated they told the sheriff and coroner they didn't believe it was a gunshot wound. She told me they were adamant it was a gunshot wound, so they mapped the scene and began to gather evidence as they would normally do. She stated that they found a smartphone and car keys in the deceased's right pocket. I thought it was his left pocket. The phone was undamaged, but could not get it to work. Oh, what a surprise.
Tampered with.
They also located the vehicle undamaged, but could not get it to work. They went through the vehicle and found the wallet and the gas cap was off. They also found engine oil in the vehicle and believed that it had vehicle trouble because they could not get it to start. Since he was found between the vehicle and his residence, they believed he was walking home when the incident occurred. She also advised me they went to the autopsy along with Coroner Kelly Green, and the doctor confirmed it was not a gunshot. At that point, they left. I asked if she could come to the funeral home the next morning, and she stated she would have to ask her supervisor and call me back. She called back and said she'd be there and bring all her notes and photos. God, there's a lot. I'm just looking to see if this is like repetitive.
How far's his home from where his car was?
I don't know. Where's his address? We're almost to the end of the thing. I know his address was in here in the beginning. We were on page 100. Let's see. Oh, it was on his driver's license thing, I think.
Casey, his car keys were in his pocket.
Yeah, in the beginning they said it was the left pocket, and now they're saying that the phone and the key were both in the right pocket. So I'm confused on that. And we're going to look at these photos in a minute that were in the Daily Mail.
Oh, God, yeah. I was shocked when I saw them.
Yeah. But it gives you insight as to how he was laying in that road, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It definitely puts it into perspective.
It's bad. I just hope they can get some justice for him.
I think it's terrible that it's taken Alex Murdoch's trial for it to even come to this.
Right. Well, it took,
like if that hadn't have happened, would anything have happened with
probably
his case?
not. Probably not. And that's what's so scary about the good old boy systems in these small towns is that how long do these things go undetected? You know, if nothing ever happens and nothing ever changes, well, no one ever knows.
Nope.
I can't find his address offhand, but if someone can find it and map like how far he was away from home, I know they have it in here because they said they went to go visit his mom. Let's take a look. So they have Mr. Burkhart's screenshots in here as well, which was interesting because I just got done saving them. When I saw his name, I went to his Facebook and saved him, and I'm like, oh my God, they're in this report. Okay, so check this out. There is a farmer they talked to. Let's see. We went to the scene. Okay, hold up. They talked with the family at the scene, and they were told by the family that their son was gay, and they did not know of any enemies. After a discussion with Lieutenant Singleton stated a log truck may have struck him. Who was the guy that worked for the log company? The one that knew Murdaugh? That's weird. They specifically said a logging truck. Let's see. The wallet was left with Lieutenant Singleton. He was advised to return it to the coroner's office. Sled was going to retrieve the information on the phone, and they went to McMillan Farms on the same road and spoke with Mr. McMillan, who runs the farm. That sounds like a typical farm. Mr. McMillan. He advised there wasn't any damage or evidence, and they asked if they could look at his trucks. He had a few seed trucks, but we did not see any damage or evidence of body fluid or blood. Mr. McMillan said his trucks weren't running at this particular time since there was no grain to haul. After we left McMillan Farms, Corporal Rowell was advised to ride the area to look for farming or log trucks, and I went to Bobcat Landing, where the deceased had supposedly hung out the night before swimming. I did not see anyone there out of the ordinary. That's the first I've heard of where he was. Bobcat Landing. Yeah, if he was hit by a log, well, that's why I think why they're saying the mirror, because they're making it sound like it wouldn't have been so extreme as like a truck hitting you. But I agree. He was not hit by a car or a truck or any of the matter, or a motorcycle or nothing. Bobcat, let's see how far that is from where the car was. Bobcat. So he was swimming. I wonder with who? Buster? Now this makes a whole different thing. Was there like a party at Bobcat Landing? What's the deal with that? So the address, let's go back up, is 5874. And what's the name of that road? Sandy something?
Sandy Lane.
Sandy Lane. Thank you. Thank you. So 5874 Sandy Lane is where the car was. Or no, that's where his body was. 5874 Sandy Lane. And that's Brunson, South Carolina, right? No. Because that's 40 minutes away. That can't be right. Jefferson? There's several. No, Jefferson's even further. Now I'm confused. Maybe he was that far away. Maybe Bobcat Landing is that far away. See, I don't know where they were. I didn't follow that close enough to ever have mapped where the Murdaws are from.
Sandy Run Road in Hampton County.
Oh, Sandy Run Road. Is that Sparta? It's not giving me a county. It's Sparta, Georgia.
Wait, hold on.
There's like so many Sandy Run roads in South Carolina. I think I found it though. 48 minutes. I think I got it. Let me pull it up here. Okay, so that's what I pulled up. For that seems doable, like 50 minutes, approximately 40 minutes away. So he was swimming there. I wonder who the hell he was with. Here's Hampton, South Carolina. But that's the first I've heard of him swimming.
I can't see.
It's on It's on YouTube. It'll pop up in a sec.
Okay.
Let's look here. This is like a river or something. This is where they were. Or he was. Let's drop our little dude down. This is where he was swimming. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is like a big spot here. Interesting. You guys see that? Can you see it now, Potato?
Yep.
What do you think of Bobcat Landing? It's pretty desolate, huh?
It's all in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
Literally in the middle of nowhere. And he was there swimming.
I want to know with who as well.
Mm-hmm. Same. I mean, look at this. This is in the middle of nowhere. There's hardly any traffic either. And there's Bobcat Landing. So he was swimming there the night of, or what? I don't understand. All right, let's go back to our docs. Our dockies. Oops. All right. So what are you thinking, Potato? Are you thinking that what are you thinking happened? I mean, obviously, like he tried to defend himself, right?
I think he was attacked, and I think it was covered up.
God, do you think that somebody messed with his car so that he broke down and had to get out? Could it have been that deep?
Or messed with it afterwards so that it wouldn't start. Like made it seem like
he
was
broke
out
down.
of his vehicle because he'd broken down.
I don't know, man. That's really scary. So listen to this. Here's another little breadcrumb. The Corporal Rowell and Duncan spoke with the family of Stephen, and they advised he had an iPad and a laptop, and he was using at least one alias, Noah Rivers, to go into homosexual chat rooms. They agreed to turn that over to be analyzed, and a warrant was obtained for those items to take to SLED. They also interviewed a subject in his 40s who was supposedly the boyfriend of the deceased and believed there was foul play, but his story was inconsistent and he was asked to take a polygraph by the mate team. He stated he would do so, but that has yet to be arranged. And then Stephanie Smith sent an email, and the email she sent was about mate Mark. Some people told me they saw this on Mark Bickhart's Facebook page, even though it was in March. I took a look for myself, and here are all the screenshots. Now, these are really hard to read, but because he doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but these are the screenshots. And we're going to try to read through them in just a second. But I'm going to show you guys some more pictures, too, I want to pull up. So this is the alleged boyfriend's screenshots that the sister turned in. But first, I want to show you what the Daily Mail released. Where are those? Hold up. Is this it? Oh, no. This is his I love you so much post. It's been 4 months now that I have not held you, hug you, or kiss you and said I love you in person. Heard your voice. It's been 4 months. The hell? Love you, Steven. So was he with him that night? I wonder. It's weird. But then the Murdaugh thing, you can't deny that there's weird connections with the Murdaughs.
Yeah.
Too many mentions.
Yeah, right from the very beginning as well. People mentioning their names, the fact that they were there at the scene, Randy and whoever, I can't remember who else it was. Alex?
And Randy calling the family, like, get out of here with that. And the Daily Mail is calling him Buster Murdaugh's friend, but Steven's mom clearly said they weren't friends. They just went to school together. She said that in an interview. And she said in an interview she didn't think it was him, which was really crazy to me.
Interesting.
She said no.
See, that's what makes me think that she'd been talked to.
Yeah, because she said,
warned off.
I never believed it was them. She said, I think they had like ulterior motive, but I don't think it was because they were involved in the death. So maybe she was thinking, oh, they just want to represent me and, get some money off me. whatever.
Mm,
But I mean, the fact that they were calling before her and her husband even identified Steven,
yeah, I mean, that's soon.
I mean, that's sick. And I get that they're, on the inside and they probably get this information that things happen first. And that's how they pounce on people. But it just seems odd. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know why I can't move my screen. I can't move this thing over. It's I'm like frozen. Okay, so these are the photos that were released, and they're gruesome. I mean, you can't really see a whole lot, but you can clearly see that he was not hit by a car.
Mm, he looks like he's just been dropped there.
So he had defensive wounds on which arm? Was it the arm right or left?
Um, Left, I think it was.
Yeah,
Blood on
so
his right arm, and but no injuries on that one. Yeah, so it was the left.
and he's kind of laying on his left as well. I wonder if he was left-handed, you know?
Yeah.
I know it is really sad, Black Knight, that this didn't, like you said earlier, come to light until, the Murdaws had a
Mhm.
death, multiple deaths rather. But that's just the first. This is from HBO Max. Why was this in the HBO Murdaugh thingy documentary? I haven't seen that one yet because I heard there's one on HBO, and this photo is from HBO. So I wonder if they talk about it. These are all from HBO. Look at how he's right on that line.
Mhm.
Ugh, potato, that makes me sick.
I know it's horrible.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I know it makes my stomach turn too. Oh God, that's awful. You guys. Oh fuck, I didn't see this one. Potato,
Mhm.
potato. I didn't know this was in there. Oh, you
Yeah,
guys.
I told you the pictures are horrible.
Holy. Oh, I can't take it. That kid was not hit by. Oh God, dude, those shoes would not have been on his feet.
No.
And look at they're all dirty, like sandy type. Like I bet that's from where he was swimming.
Mhm.
And he had shorts on. There is no way he would be in this condition hit by a car.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Smith's body was found in the middle of a quiet road. Police say it looked like he had been dropped there. Like someone opened the fucking door and just dropped him.
Mhm. Yeah,
Poor,
that's exactly
poor
what it looks
guy.
like.
Poor guy. And I'm just not so sure that, I mean, what if the Murdaws are involved? What if Buster's in the dark? But
Yeah, he could
he
be.
could be. I mean, his family is pretty crooked. Like, I don't think that Alex is going to tell them everything because you have
Nope.
too many people knowing stuff. That's when you get busted. That is just horrific, potato.
Mhm.
Horrific. Okay, so I think that what was going on here with Mark Bickhart or Burkhart, whatever, I think that he was, being accused by um the Smiths. So I think he started posting about the sister, is what happened here. So he says to Stephen Nicholas, Mess twin sister, and the Mess sister, what the Mass husband, that's the North for the Hampton police. What? Are the Hampton sheriff? I would watch your backs. You killed your own brother. You killed the goonest, person in the whole world that nurtured everybody and cared about everybody. He's accusing the family?
But in March, though, why is he posting this in March?
I don't know.
Like, what is it about?
You no matter what background, ethnic background, religion, creed, or anything, because needed money to run your little drug deal. Take me. I'm back and forth for your metal body to have a cookhouse. I got the evidence to put yours away. I got everything. And play. I know everything that you girls tire or did. I'm not saying that would happen. Proof that you were there, proof that you tampered with the body, proof that you stole his wallet for the money, and proof that you took money, roof evidence that you also took money and wanted him to come to a sugar daddy. And he told you the cops are Bolivia and belligerent not to look at my evidence, but one day you girls will get court and your little husband is going to get caught. If not, my boys are going to take care of and have an ethnic background killing throughout the Smith family. So my feeling to
What?
Steven's sister, Ben's sister, Boy Toy, and Steven's twin sister's girlfriend, any other sister that's an addict and a drunk and a cunt and a bitch and a whore with her drug buddies, what?
Oh my God.
That are the Mathers bringing a baby, bring it, eyeball burn you bitches, and how you and got shit that Steven had, and he weighed doing better than the whole fucking family, and you just couldn't, don't even know what the fuck you're doing. Nani could even go to college. Then you killed your fucking father.
What?
But I believe putting math in something he had. Oh, I believe putting meth in something he had, which raced his heart. You're a bunch of Confederate racist bigots, and it killed your own brother because you need money to run your drop teen. I just Forest Tire or the little fucking cunt that free walled south for everybody. So now you got no little brother. And I would watch your back because everybody knows that the other sister's husband is a narc. And Steven and even Joel Snack told me that they had talk cunt bitch arrested. Your days are numbered. I know for a fact your days are numbered. The cops now, they're numbered. And I'm telling you, real plain white, they're numbered. You're cold blooded, heartless calories that killed your own brother. What a piece of shit. You don't fucking know nothing. You're a cunt, wires, corn artist. Stevens even said, I love my litter sister with all my heart and soul. But the one thing I can't stand about her, and I just cannot be around her at times, she cannot help herself with habitually all yang. She's honest, unworthy, and I'm not trustful with anything. I cannot trust her with anything at all, but I love her to death. I wish you would get help. You fucking killed your own brother, you bitch. What your conk of your other sister that wrecked Steven's car by running what drugs in it, because I even know he told me. And not husband. Fuck the car up the rest of the way. I know everything about Eustace Gosney as the fifth Smith family. You make every person in the world vomit. Eventuate the cops. I'm going to have the evidence and you're going to be arrested. I'm being very patient with that because every time I want to go out and take care of his stuff with Tess, I hear in the back of my head, baby, why Dippy? Let the cops handle it. Let the cops handle it. It ain't worth it. He never wanted me upset. He loved me. He cared about me. And I'm going to tell you what, there ain't nothing in the world that's going to happen to me until I see you paid for what you did to your brother and anyone else that was involved in this. I know who you are. I know everybody that was involved in his deck. I know what happened. I know it happened. I know when it happened. I know where it happened. I pray for years, and I pray that the cops grow some balls and come talk to me in a timely fashion before I could hold my and then a family back, because I'm having a hard time holding the Jersey boys back because they are my family. When I can't and they come to Hampton, there's going to be an ethnic cleansing throughout town until they get anybody that your friends are going to be are going to fucking be. What if my family comes and now that Bickart family, the Jersey boys, Gigi's crying, the Mexican mafia, the Italian mafia, you people as the Smith family killed the one thing that a lot of people loved, and that was the angel. I'm getting anxiety reading this. He has no periods whatsoever. He had the eyes of the OSU, no blue, was little boy diva. He's looking down and he loves the ones that cared about him as far as his family. He was you, but I know deep in my heart, he hopes that you get help. And I pray to God you get help because you're one sick motherfucking bitches. And that man and the man that killed him, you ain't nothing but a piece of shit that ain't worth it. He was just saying the sister did it. Now he's saying a man.
Mm-hmm.
You're just jealous that he was doing better than the rest of the shit in that town. That's why you can do better than the rest, DS, and you are jealous and you needed his money. And when he was leaving us that night and never coming back, yes, had to take care of things. But what you forgot about was his boyfriend, not his sugar daddy, what you call me, because I'm one mean motherfucking cunt and I'm one motherfucking bitch that's going to make sure the cops even handle this, or you don't want me to handle it, because my way to handling it is I'm going to catch is Ernie is what battery acid and cut finger by finger toe by towel as I'm throwing acid and battery acid and saw Tanya loans and what the fuck going to go down like that, sis, is Anna. Tell your body just can't take it anymore. I'm going to start. Wait, where am I? I'm going to start. Oh my God, I am so lost. It's like it's like a repeat. I'm going to start. Got me is alive. Best to turn yourselves into cops because the GG brought the GGs that the mafia doubt. Mark got Les and Heartless, and I am because they know who he was, and I know who his boyfriend was, and they will back me any day, anytime, any place. By the way, your little neck deal. Do you know who Coco Grandma is? She is. She don't like Matt. I don't care, and talk to the Mexican mafia. You people going to have a problem, and that may be my next game. I want the Mexican mafia to take care of it rather than get my hands dirty. Did you say fucking worth it? Have a good day, bitches of the Smith family. LOL. Days are numbered. They are counting Wachovia backs at the Exxon station. Watch over your backs at Rena Center. Ha ha. What? Dude.
Well done for getting through all of that.
I'm never going to be the same.
Because that was insane.
I will never be the same person again.
My
Never.
God.
Good Lord above.
What even was that?
I think he used text to speak and it's all messed up.
Uh-huh.
Weird.
That's just some crazy ranting.
I got some more craziness for you, though, from him. So we're going to take a look at his other post that I found. Here is Mark Bickart on August 28th, 2018. How is everyone tonight? In South Carolina, in Hampton. Getting ready for bed and to start a new day. Ending sober and clean pushing for 45 months. Welcome, Miss Robin. Miss Robin just became a member of the Tinfoil Hat Club.
Whoop, whoop.
There's something going on with my screen, though, that I cannot move any of my windows. I don't know if I've frozen it or what, but it's really strange. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Now you can see them. What?
True Crime with Eve says, can you run that by us again? I didn't quite understand.
No such luck, Eve. I'll come over to your channel later when you're reading it. You can decipher it. I read it as is. God, that was tough, man. Like, I don't think I'll ever be the same person. This guy used to live in Florida, so he says goodbye to Florida. Good riddance. I am now in Georgia. headed my way into Georgia. And this is 2018. So this is after Stephen died,
Mm-hmm.
like well after. And there he is driving. Sorry, this is all kind of messed up. It's my screen is not behaving today. This one says up in the Poconos. This one bothered me. I was like, why is he in the Poconos? No, up in the Poconos looking for a place and enjoying my time up here. I have some video and some pictures I'm going to post of a dam and driving in the snow. So he's all over the place. And then here he is again. I showed this one earlier. Much older than Steven, which is a little bit disturbing, I would say. No wonder he didn't talk about his boyfriend much. Here's another one of him in 2017. And he has all this still on his page. Like, it's not deleted. I don't know why. Eve says, fair.
They're asking who it is.
Who, this guy?
Yeah.
Mark Bickhart. This is Steven's alleged boyfriend. Is that what they're wondering?
Mm-hmm.
He is listed in the court documents. And so I found him on Facebook. To my boyfriend, Steven, I miss you more and my more than ever than before. However, kill ya. They don't not what they take for ya and family and boyfriend. I hope they get or brought to justice. You all the Lewis dumb piece of crap on earth I have ever seen. Makes no fucking sense.
He needs to stop using text to talk.
This dude
It's
needs
not working for him.
Yeah, he needs to stop creeping on 19-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
Yeah, gross.
what the hell is wrong here? He says the cop I have ever seen, and when the cops get you, you're going to get your own in jail. I got help because I know there are not too many people who will turn yourself in. If you are any human being, you just was heartless piece of shit. Comes around, goes around. When it comes back around and bite you, be there when you're arrested and tried and convicted of Stephen's mobile murder and killing. Stephen's mobile murder and killing. These people are the ones that like the post. Here's another post of him. This is Potato's favorite. My penis is my favorite toy.
My God.
Gross.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
You saw that, you're like, what is that?
Yeah, it's just as I came on. It's like, what are you looking at?
And two.
I actually thought it was an advert.
Unreal.
I know you get some weird adverts on your stuff.
Yeah, sometimes. That would be par for the course. Oh my gosh. So he says, the love of my life had that written and put it on my Facebook. He was trying to tell me that I was a real cranky bitchy and I needed to get laid. Rest his soul. If it walks like a bitch, looks like a bitch, sounds like a bitch, talks like a bitch, 9 times out of 10, it's a dude. Lisa says Steven had an escort ad on Craigslist. Yikes.
I'm guessing that's where it all came from then, that he was leading a double life. If he had an alias and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was on Craigslist.
And they did confirm that he used that alias.
Mm-hmm.
Says, today my boyfriend Stephen Nicholas Smith would have been 20 years old. Someone bought and took his life on the back roads to Hampton, South Carolina on July 8th. It was the most caring, loving man I ever knew. It's so sick that this guy sees him as a man. He's a kid. He's 19. Loving, caring man.
Were they even in a relationship?
Right. Was
Or
this
is this
guy
all,
just
like,
like obsessed?
one-sided?
Right.
Yeah.
Was he like obsessed with him and moved there?
Yeah, because he moved.
That's really
Is there
weird.
anything from Stephen to say that he was in a relationship with him? Like, what has his mom said?
Well, his mom, remember, was going around town accusing him.
Mm-hmm.
He got mad. I ever knew he cared for everyone and anyone, and he didn't care what Walco wife you came from, what walk of life you came from. So he cared about, and he didn't care about himself, what he was going through the day. He would call and make sure you're okay from his family and friends and me. Happy birthday, Stephen. I will never forget you, and I will always love you. Welcome, True Crime with Eve. This guy is.
Kind of makes me wonder if he got in contact with Stephen through his ads and stuff, and then like became obsessed with him.
Could he have? I mean, could he be a suspect?
Was he one at any point? I know they said that his story was inconsistent and they were going to do a lie detector, but did they actually do one at any point?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
Because it wasn't. I mean, if they did, it wasn't in there.
That's not good.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't sound like he's in his right mind.
No. Wait, this is weird. He says, life really sucks. What I got to live life on life's terms, but I know it could be a lot worse if I was out there drinking and using. But I could tell you why am there. I miss my boyfriend Steven. This has been the hardest year of my entire 47 years with anything, and I miss him so much. And so the person that did this, they need to have mercy on your soul. Because right now, you talk to the most beautiful thing from so many of us. Stephen Smith, I hope you're up there with no hurt and no one could do anything to you anymore. Looking down at our 4 boys and me, but his socks and you not being here as being a selfish, I love you so much. It's been 4 months now that I have not held you, hug you, kiss you, said I love you in person, heard your voice. It's been 4 months. The hell? Love you, Stephen. I think I'm going to
His
need like
post,
a Xanax after this.
his post when he said that he had been clean for 45 months, was that in 2018 as well?
I think so.
So that would be like 3 years and 9 months that he was clean.
Dude, this is really disturbing too.
So is he not clean around the time that he knew Stephen?
I don't think so. He doesn't sound like it. So look at this though.
Mm-mm.
This is a week after Stephen died. He posted a picture of this kid. I have no idea who it is. It says, I think someone was looking for this young man. Let me on. I have seen him. What?
What the heck? That kid looks really young.
Uh-huh. This dude needs to be brought in and interrogated.
Yeah. Yeah, something that's not right there.
Look at this. My boyfriend is Stephen Nicholas Smith. You are missed by so many. Your family, this is right after July 13th. Your father, your mother, your brothers, your sisters, your nieces, your nephews, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins. Cousins, and most of all, me. I met you and we both fell in love, and immediately I moved to Hampton to be with you. What the heck? St. Petersburg? What? Stop. Stop it right now. Stop. Oh, abort. Don't tell me this dude lives down here now. He says, Stephen, you broke the mold, and all your friends and family will agree with me on all this. You were up in heaven looking down on us every day, but it's hard. You're not here to be with us, but that's being selfish. Your young life was cut short, and we were going to get married, me and you. That was our plan. When you graduated, you, me, and my son wanted to move where you wanted to go, St.
His son?
Petersburg, Florida. Yes.
He has a son.
He said he had 4 boys looking down.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what he said in his other post. Our 4 boys looking down. What the fuck?
What
Is he
the
killing
heck?
multiple boys?
Oh my god.
Oh, God, I just got a disease spell. Ah!
Oh my gosh.
My heart is bleeding. I don't know that I could ever love again, but life must go on. The world must go around. It is not easy but it has to keep going. We know you're looking down. I love you with all my heart and soul and my flash. I will always have you in my heart. January 29th, 1996 to July 8th, 2015. Too close to home. V Slims. Oh, Tracy wants to know how to become a member. I think it's join. Can't remember when I made it over here. Tracy V, my girl. See if those work. Oh, wait. This is the screenshots I took of that. Oh, my God. This guy is something
Wrong.
else. I am shooketh. And this has
Yeah,
been
I
a
really
long
don't.
time, Potato. Like,
Uh-huh.
this has been
I really do not think they had a real relationship. I think
Here's-
he was delusional.
Oh, my goodness. So, could he have followed Steven, you know?
Hmm.
Because check
If
this
he was
out.
that obsessed and he was rejecting his advances or something, I mean,
Dude,
that happens.
he's got some bad posts. Like, there's so many. Hold on. Here's another one where
Worse
he
than we've already
moves.
seen.
He moves.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it. Look at this. On another note, the governor of South Carolina and all the diplomats and all the high-end people of the state, I'm calling you to do something because it doesn't seem like you have a grip on your own police departments. The FBI, Hampton County Police, Hampton Sheriff, or the Highway Patrol Hampton, and it doesn't seem like the governor, her cabinet, or anybody in government and South Carolina tagging, and nobody does any that is ashamed to live in the United States with this stuff going on about this type of stuff. Even the kids growing up in school are getting hazed because they're bisexual, gay, LBTG. Is that what it is? LBTG? I think that's wrong. LBGTQ, right?
Yeah.
LBTG, I don't see where you're really doing a lot because the hazing is going on. The hatred against gays and everything in the state of South Carolina is still going. Murders are going on and nothing is getting done against us. I am not going to close my eyes and tell his family if the cops and the FBI don't grow some tits or balls, then I will personally have to take care of business for myself. First name and what they're going to be brought to justice. I went to Stephen's grave site. I told him that his cowards will be brought to justice, whether the punk ass FBI or the punk ass cops do something. I will make sure it gets done. Wrong. Get your asses together and do something and stop kissing the Smith family's ass and licking that pussy, bitches.
Oh my
Cops
God.
and FBI, grow some fucking balls and do your jobs because I'm going to be breathing down your motherfucking backs. Tell your dad I will bring everybody heat until this case is done. What are you fucking like it or not? And I don't fucking care if people like what the fuck I'm saying. You could lick my little man pussy and go fuck off while you're at it.
What?
Fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss.
That deserves a what?
I did a fucking fuzzy slippers and lip gloss. People didn't understand my post. My brother doesn't like me being gay. He is a racist bigot, want to come to the gays. My sister is a lesbian, and he approves all that in general. My boyfriend, Stephen Nicholas Smith, was killed on July 8th. It seems like the FBI can't get their shit together. If you call there, all you get is a bunch of bullshit. You call the Highway Patrol, they don't have nothing on his case. You call Crime Stoppers, they don't even know about the case. We are not crap as gay as we are loving, caring people. Stephen was nurturing, caring, loving person. He even nurtured animals back to health. He was going to be a trauma nurse in Orangeburg Technical College. He was making a better life for himself and us, me and the kids. And this seems like in Hampton, they don't want to hate crime out and they don't want to know that his own family killed him. Family is messed, are in more things. They are racist bigots against every black something. Dude, this is messed up. Where's the one where he
Are
says
there
he
any
moved though?
are there any comments on any of these posts?
Um, I don't know. I showed the ones that liked the one that I looked at. There's like one like. Yeah, not very. No, I mean, there's really no engagement on his posts.
I think that says a lot.
Yeah, you're probably right. The ones that are liking it is probably him. See, here's the three that like Deborah
Hmm.
Jenkins, Jan Smith. Funny how it's the name Smith and Tracy Calloway. Whatever that is. Let's see. There's one where he moves though. He's like, I can't stand being. Um, Look at this. I have finally gotten some relief. This is in August of 2015. I finally gotten some relief from everybody letting, maybe so I can grieve a little bit over Steven dying. We know whoever did this. I feel Steven knew. I have a hard time. Ooh, I feel Steven knew. I have a hard time with this. We knew each other as a couple for over a year and a half. To the person that did this to Steven, the
A
family,
year and a
and
half
yeah, and now he's speaking for the family. The family
when
and
he
me
was
want
so,
justice. He was just
so
saying
when
they
Stephen was 17 and a half.
Ew.
Yeah.
He was putting
And
college
he's
to
what,
make
in
a
his
better
40s?
life for himself and be somebody. Not that he wasn't somebody. To take him from everybody was atrocious. Whoever did this is gutless, heartless, and soulless. And you will have your day. I will not stop until you get justice. Will be served by the police in the court system, or it will be another way. But I will tell you, whatever these people are, a person is, you have a better chance at anything if the cops get God have mercy on your motherfucking soul. This dude's fucked up. Alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
drugs,
Yep.
mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. It's been a month today that my boyfriend has been killed on the back roads to Hampton. Cops are not saying much. They have a lot of leads and a lot of things going on. If anyone knows who he'll who killed my boyfriend, Mr. Stephen Nicholas Smith, please come forward. I beg you to come forward. Call the captain at the Hampton Sheriff's Department. See, he's telling them to call the cops, but then he's like, you pussies.
Yeah. Grow some balls. Is he still active on his Facebook now?
I don't think he is. I think the last posts were old. He moved and
That's
then
weird.
yeah, hold up. Let me see. Where is that? Oh, this one's weird. This one talks about, okay, he says, I promise everybody that, and I don't trust these fucking pigs because that's why motherfuckers down that's out now. Everybody has done my man wrong and done me wrong. Watch your motherfucking backs. That includes family and everybody on both sides. God have mercy on your motherfucking souls. And it says, I wonder how much jail time I would get if I actually did unto others as they have done unto me. Yeah, let's get him on the phone, Eve. Let's do it.
He's got a new Facebook.
Oh, does he?
Mm-hmm.
Do tell.
Last updated his profile picture April 2nd, 2022, but it's all lockdown. Like you can't see anything.
He does state here that he moved after this. He was like, I can't handle. Maybe it's up here more. He was like, I can't handle being in this bed that we shared. Then he's looking to move to the Pocono Mountains. Like, dude, go away. Do you see the one where he talks about that?
Hold on. I'm just looking at all the other ones because there's a few Facebook profiles.
Oh, really? Why does that not
Yeah.
surprise me? But he moved, it says he moved to South Carolina September 15th, 2015. At least that's when he put it on Facebook. Oh, here we go. Here we go. August 29th, 2015. I am not going to be on Facebook for a bit. My friend, I have to do some thinking, soul searching, and figure out what I'm going to do next, where I'm going to go, and not staying here. Soon, Steven passed. I can't even stay in this house anymore. I can't stay in the bedroom with me and Steven. Once I get some listings that I have still to take care of, I am going to start packing. It says packing things that I want, things I don't want, to leave the sell off or just leave it in the house. I am hurt person that this too, and family, and for I just have to figure out what I want to do, where I want to go. I know I could never love again. I know I have no moral of my heart for even myself. So I can't love no one else. I have so much hatred in me right now. It is pathetic. So with that said, I'm going to be off the Facebook. All my friends, I would be looking at your posts, maybe, and maybe I just won't. I can, like I says, it is what it is. To all my friends, I'll see you around. Peace. Yeah. So then he heads out and he's like traveling around the Poconos and all this other crazy shit. Oops. Wrong case. So yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think I'm telling you, I don't think I'll ever be the same person after this. This is so disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. So there's a lot of layers here. I think that maybe he had a crazy that was obsessed with him
Yeah, I think so.
from the internet, possibly, because I just can't see Steven. He was going to college. I don't think he was looking to like raise a family with this 47-year-old man.
Nope.
Wow.
I really can't see it. I think he got obsessed with him.
Yeah, he's not right. And I really do think that they need to follow up on this guy. He seems maybe like a ticking time bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Very bipolar. Like one post he's, the family and I are praying for justice for you, and then the next one he's calling them cunts and bitches, and it's just like,
Yeah,
that's
I know.
alarming. I just wonder where this guy's been for the last few years, and I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's in a good frame of mind, to say
not
the
at all.
least.
Nope.
Scary stuff. So I don't know. I mean, the blue paint thing, people are saying, it wouldn't come off a bat like that. But what if it was a wooden bat?
Yeah, exactly. And there was something about Buster had been using a bat or something to hit mailboxes or something. I don't know. But if
Yeah,
it was like a bashed up bat, then the paint is going to come off of it, like wood chips.
absolutely. But why wouldn't they determine? I mean, I guess, you know what? I'm asking a stupid question because they lied. That coroner lady is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yep.
And if it wasn't for these officers that actually documented all this mess, can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine? Like, no one would ever know, and this mother would go to her grave, like, with no
Yeah.
chance of ever getting answers.
Yeah. That's really sad.
It makes me sick. Why are we seeing so much corruption being exposed? I think it's the internet and just
Yeah. Definitely the internet. It's
just the
how information
level.
spreads and people pick up on it.
Yeah, like the
Like you can't
level
keep
of
things
things.
secret anymore.
Right. Well, at least here you can't.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
It's just the level of like the everyday people that can find information. Like we were
Mhm.
doing that eBay thing yesterday, the people that were stalked by eBay. And she actually got the person's name that was following her husband from the cops. And she looked it up and she's like, um, yeah, he works for eBay or she works for eBay. So she told the investigators and he was like, she did her own research.
Well, it seems like you have to do your own research these days, or nothing gets done.
Where does he get the money to travel? Good question. If you look at his one Facebook that I was looking at, he's like homeless and he's talking about being at campgrounds and stuff. It's weird, but you guys can go ahead and look at that. I've had my fill of this dude. I have definitely like if he comes up in the case, that's when I'll like talk about him again, but I have had my fill of this dude for like the rest of my life cuz I don't think he's right. And I think he needs like mental help and he needs to probably stay away from 19-year-olds and 17-year-olds. Oh, this is one I didn't read. This one says, "How is everyone tonight?" I'm here in South Carolina. This is August 25th, 2018. So why did he go back years or go there years later, allegedly? Does it give her coroner's name? Yeah, I'm sure it does. Getting ready for bed and ready to start a new day. Ending sober and clean, pushing for 45 months. Years enjoying every day and every moment sober and clean. And I possibly could live life to its fullest. And my honey, he hit me back today. Oh, this is 2000. Which one? What year is that? 15? Shit, I can't even read it. It's so small. My honey hit me back today, but I am in and say goodnight to him here soon and email him. He'll answer because you don't answer the sleep anymore. To everyone else, that's the way up. Have a good night's sleep and I'll enjoy yourselves tomorrow. Wonderful day. You can't find his profile? Lisa, he would have had a lot more injuries if he was hit by a truck. Do you guys have the iPhone link for the membership? Somebody was saying they had a problem with that. Oh no, Potato, you and your laptop charger. I cannot with you. Well, I'm getting ready to wrap this up anyhow, so thank you, Potato, for coming on. Always a pleasure. Potato and Jay, double your pleasure, double your fun. So it is 1:14 on March 28th, and we have just wrapped up the Stephen Smith documents that were released. And we will continue to follow for any other updates. But if he was clipped, it's okay. If he was clipped, though, he would not be in the middle of the road, I don't think. And his mother even said he would have never walked 3 miles. He was very skittish. It's called I See You, Mandy Joe. I See You on Netflix.
I flashed and said, wow, pretty far out. I thought it was pretty far out. Woo-wee, that will scare somebody.
Ooh-wee. No, I understand. I'm just saying, I personally know someone who was hit by a car, and it was literally a car going 35 miles an hour, and it was bad. So if there was a big transfer truck on a country road at night, just barreling through, you figure a truck at night on an old desolate road like that is going to be really going fast. So I don't think I don't think there's any way that happened. And I'm no expert, but I've seen something else personally in my life. And I'm going to tell you something. A 35-mile-an-hour car did more damage to somebody being hit than what I see in those pictures. And they thought, I mean, there was a literal hole in his head. Yeah, boy was still in his shoes. Exactly, Joe. But there was a hole in his head. They thought it was a gunshot. So he was hit with something. And his head was bashed in. His head was bashed in, that poor kid. So there we go. Thanks for listening, guys. And I appreciate all of you who are here. Replay crew, thank you for listening. And let me know your thoughts on all of this madness in the comment section. We will definitely have to do like a call in on this and as more comes out. I think he was killed first and blame put on drunk friends. I still want to know who he was swimming with, though. That's what boggles my brain. Thank you, Eve, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. And you have to be unaware of everything that's around you to be hit by a vehicle. Yeah, and you just wouldn't end up in the middle of the road, like right on the line. And they said it looked like he was dumped. And I'm going off with the first officers who seem to be honest in their reporting and their note taking. And they said it was definitely a homicide, and that's how they felt. So I'm going to go with that. But yeah, it's very sad, Lisa. I know. We want to think it was an accident because that's just, it's more explainable in our heads than that somebody would do something this horrific to a 19-year-old kid who was just going to college and living his life, you know, trying to live his best life. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Tomorrow morning, for sure. We have a live schedule that's going to bring you there. Click that notification bell so that you are notified 30 minutes prior. Dance it out with the old J for J, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care.
Ooh,
About
that
you
will
and
scare
your
somebody.
problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems.